everybody, this is Eric at Learn Design with Eric, and today we're going to take a look again at Wix, Elementor, and Squarespace because I've had quite a few views on Wix and for my Wix versus Elementor video that I did quite a long time ago, and I just thought I would kind of come back around because things change all the time, especially in the web world, and pricing changes as they get more competitive and, just things like that. So I wanted to take another look at it and kind of talk a little bit about the different things that you could choose if you're trying to build a website for your business or for your personal use or whatever. So first of all, let's take a look at Wix. So I'm here on the Wix main home web page here. And one of the things that Wix does really, really well is they make it really, really simple to get started, and not unlike that, so does Squarespace. Squarespace does an amazing job of getting you started as well. I mean, they literally have like a free option, no credit card required. You can give it a shot and see what you think of it, and it gives you a lot of flexibility, especially if you're not a web developer or somebody that knows anything about HTML. So you can build yourself a website that looks really good and does perform well on mobile devices, and you can do it without having to have any real knowledge of the web. Now, obviously, if you have advanced knowledge of the web, then you're going to be able to create a nicer looking site. And if you do have good knowledge of the web, then you might also consider not using Wix because it is going to run you into some potential. You're going to get frustrated probably with it. So here I just loaded up a sample site. It gives you like a regular version of it as well as a mobile view. It's a real this particular site's a real simple landing page. I just pulled it up just to see what it was in it. It's got nice photography in it, nice typography. It's probably not going to perform real well in a page speed test. I'm kind of curious actually. I bet you Wix's main site does. But let's just, for kicks and giggles, try this. Google Page Speed Insights. So this is a page that has virtually nothing on it. I'm just curious to see what Google's Page Speed Insights says about it. Ooh! Oh my gosh, that is abysmal. Now that's what I'm talking about right there. That's terrible right there. That is terrible. 26. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the desktop is considerably better. That's good. The mobile though, ooh, that's rough. 26. 3.6 seconds to first content paint. So you know that, well, maybe you don't know this. The amount of time you actually have to make an impression on somebody on a website is about 8 seconds. So 3.6 of those seconds, it hasn't done anything. So that means you really only have like 4 seconds in this guy's case. So that's not good. Yeah. So that's a good reason right there not to use Wix if I ever saw one. I'm curious to see what the main website scans at, because that's got to be optimized up the wazoo, one would think. Let's see. Let's analyze it. Okay, so now I've gotten my page speed score for the Wix main website. Wix.com, 36. That's not good. That same kind of impression problem. It's almost 3 seconds of content paint before you see anything. And serving images. So this is one thing that happens a lot, this serve images in next-gen formats. So they want stuff like WebP. The problem is that WebP is not something you can quickly export from Photoshop, and then you can't re-import it into Photoshop. And so it does pose a bit of a problem, and I've started to see that Google is like hampering people because of that. Their desktop score was quite good, so that's good. But yeah, that's interesting. We'll have to try some of these other guys. So this is Wix's pricing. So you got websites plans for personal use, $14 a month. You get your custom domain, your free domain for a year. Remove your Wix ads so you don't see the like made by Wix stuff at the bottom. You get an SSL certificate, which is important because if you don't have SSL on your site, then very few browsers, most of the modern browsers will not really look at your site. And Google will also hamper you, so you will not be getting much of anything. Storage space, 3 gigs. That is a huge amount of storage space for a website. If you're storing gigs of data on a website, you're probably doing something wrong. If you go into the business and e-commerce plan, you can get the business basic for $23 a month. The fact is, this is not expensive for hosting when you start talking about business hosting, but it's not cheap. So we're now going to look at Squarespace. So Squarespace is like Wix. They've got their own system that you develop websites in. I do think that their websites overall look better. They kind of have that high-end kind of fashion styling to them. Real minimalist type styles, minimalist structure, real nice kind of motion. You see how the text is jumping in here, the parallaxing effect that you're seeing there, parallaxing on this image here. Just some nice stuff, just some nice animations, and just really overall a nice feel. I've always liked the Squarespace site designs. Let's take a look at their templates here. So let's pull up, let's just go into this one. Sure. I'm going to preview Vandom. Wonder if I can, there we go. Let's view a demo site. So here's your site. New album available on vinyl. Now, if this was a real artist website and you had a new album, I personally would want to see a call to action here. I'd want to see some sort of text, new album, buy now, right? Because even though the image is nice, it doesn't sell anything. And if that's really what you're doing with this site, you're selling your tour, your press, your merchandise, whatever, you want to not waste this prime real estate at the top of your site. That's just bad design. So you get to this point here, you've got your way to listen, you've got your new album available on vinyl on June 15th, which, is a while ago. So obviously there's a way to buy that album, but you can't find it. So it's a bad designed site, but other than that, it's a beautiful site. I think it's nice looking. The type is real easy to read, good contrast. You won't have to worry about ADA violations here because all of the type is real easy to read and it's not reversed out on a light color. Like this part right here would be a violation of the ADA, but otherwise the site looks great. Let's look at some of these other inside pages just for fun. So that's nice. So real prime real estate on a phone, just a tip for you designers out there. This space about right here is what they call the thumb zone. The idea is if you're holding your phone in your hand, then your thumb kind of goes over into this space right here. And that's your prime space for clicking call to action buttons, phone numbers, and the like. So you can run your hero up here, your image, then you can run maybe your H1 right in here. And you want to keep your thumb zone open for those call to action buttons. Book your tour date, order our new album, call our phone number, that kind of thing. You don't want to be wasting that on a picture of only 2 of the artists, and if that, the back of their heads on top of that. So that's just bad strategy. Another strategy you can do is inside the mobile menu, you can also have those call to action buttons. So no matter where you're at on the site, you can always get those call to actions. And those are real important for, obviously, conversion, which is, in the end, what you want to do on a website. That's the site. Let's go back to the homepage of the site. Let's run a speed test, the old Google speed test on it. While we're waiting, I'm going to go back to that site. I'm going to take a look at what it does on mobile. Now there it goes. It breaks to a tablet view right there. That's nice. It's got a real nice menu. Still see everything on tablet, which is great. See, and this is more of a traditional website in terms of the way it's going to manage tablet. And then obviously when you go to phone, it's going to do even more compressing. It's probably going to stack vertical, but I don't have a way to easily do that on my computer here. Let's just do the inspector. And we'll go like this, and then we'll go Google Pixel. So here we go. There's your phone view. So let's take a look at what our Google page speed report was. So 32, whole lot better on the first content pane. See that, 1.1 seconds? It's still not a significantly good score. I mean, the other one was like, what, 28? But it's not terrible. So we've got extra JavaScript, like crazy JavaScript. Let's close these Wix things here. Let's take a look at how messy the code looks. It's actually not bad. I mean, it's pretty clean. There's a lot of it for a site that doesn't seem to have very much on it. But this page is actually quite long. It's not like that other one. There's actually quite a bit here. So overall, there's a lot of content here for, I mean, that's a lot of code for a small site. So I'm sure that's a large part of why this site's not performing well on page speed. Same exact score on desktop. So not bad, not great, not amazing, but good. So that's Squarespace. So let's also talk about their pricing. So remember on Wix, our pricing was, $14, $18. So here we are pretty much in the same ballpark, same domain, SSL, like we already talked about. Now this one's got unlimited storage, which, remember we had 3 gigs of storage on the other one? That's almost like unlimited storage. I mean, they can call it unlimited. It's pretty much unlimited anyway. SEO features, which you're going to get with any of these places. Templates, of course. You can have unlimited number of contributors. That could be handy if you had a team of people that were going to work on your site, but most of the time it's going to be one person working on these sites. Mobile optimized, like that's not a feature. That they all do that. If they don't do that, then you can't use them. And then basic website metrics, email, marketing. This is all very similar to the other one. So in essence, the price is virtually the same. Now, one thing that is a lot better on Square is that when you get to the actual e-commerce part of things, theirs is much cheaper. Like, where were we on Wix? It was quite a bit more expensive when you got into the e-commerce plans. So let's see. Unlimited products, transactions per month. So $27 versus, so it's basically the same. So anyway, they're very comparative, very comparable. And we're back to Elementor. So Elementor later. With Elementor, you use WordPress. WordPress, of course, is free. And then if you're going to do one site and you want to have the Pro Elementor, which you definitely do, you don't want to use the basic free Elementor. It's very, very basic. At $49 a year, I mean, that's dirt cheap, right? And then hosting. So versus, what was it, $18 a month or so, or $14 a month for the cheapest option in either Wix or Squarespace. So from there, you got to have hosting, right? And so what I've used in the past is I've used Bluehost, and it's like hella cheap, right? So you get free domain, you get an SSL certificate. It's like super, super easy to install WordPress on it, and it's literally $3 a month. So you're talking $33 a year plus $3 a month. I mean, it's so much cheaper than those other options. It's not even funny. The only thing, of course, is that this technology, Elementor, does require you to have some understanding of HTML. And I say that because the back end of WordPress is very messy looking. As you can see if you look in my WordPress training videos. I did 4 videos where I kind of walked through building an entire website from start to finish. And in that training, the first video of that series, I start going into the back end of WordPress. If you want to see that, you can check that video up. I'll put a link in the upper part of the video. You can check that out. But anyway, so you choose your plan. Of course, in this case, we were going to use the free version, or the pro version, the basic pro version. And this is kind of what it looks like when you're building on the site. You can kind of see how this guy's opened this thing up. There's just a ton of widget options. It makes it real simple, almost like drag and drop style. Like if you can work with Word or, any of the Microsoft software, you probably will be able to build a website on here. As long as you can get through the back end of WordPress, that's the hardest part. But you can do a lot of stuff with this. Almost an unlimited amount of awesome things. So one of the things I have a subscription to, because I bought Elementor in the past, is I get this email every month of their great websites. And this is a great place to go for just general web interest if you want to check out some really cool websites. So here's the site. Ooh, very nice. I like that scroll. That's cool. So I'm moving my mouse quite a bit, and it's just moving just a little bit. It's a little jumpy, but it's not bad. That's really nice. So you can see the navigation on the left, so you can obviously just click it and it'll just take you there. But the scroll feel is pretty cool. So we got a video here. It's loading. It's a Vimeo. See, and that's good strategy to use Vimeo. I'm wondering, does he have captions? He does not have captions. He should have captions. So, ooh, that's nice. Left-right scroll. That's real popular in the real high-end video or high-end web scene. So let's see what this does on mobile. So it drops to mobile pretty soon. Got a mobile menu off to the side. This is your experience on tablet. Not bad. And then when you go to mobile phone, of course, it's just more of the same. Just more vertically stacked. Let's see what page speed scored. Woo! That's rough. That is really rough. 26. Ouch. 72. Not bad on that, but oh man, 26. That's rough. So yeah, see that 4.4 seconds. That's not what we would call good. Well, let's see what a professionally built website is for Elementor, like the actual Elementor site. I'm curious to see how it page speed scores. Da-dink. While we're waiting for that, let's go look at another one of these things. Let's look at one that's a little different, like not just all black and white. Let's look at this one. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not really a fan. What do you think? That's kind of annoying. I've seen that before. Generally not a fan. That's a lot of fonts. Okay, let's see our page speed score. So Elementor's main site, mobile page speed score, 40. It's better than any of the others have been so far. So, I mean, that's not great, but it's better than some of the others have been for a score. Desktop's 93, so that's very good. This is actually a website I designed using Elementor for a client. I'm just curious to see how it's rating now. I haven't done this in a while, so I don't know how it's going to come out. So let's see where we came out on Paul Lee's site. So 41, better than the main Elementor site by a little bit on mobile. And so, you know, the first content paint is slow. The old render blocking resources trick. This is something that's just a very constant problem with all WordPress sites. So you're not going to really get out of that unless maybe you know something I don't. If you know something I don't, please put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But that's not uncommon. Desktop 84. So, you know, right in the same range as the professional WordPress site by the professional Elementor site. So not bad. In any case, that's a little bit of a breakdown comparing the three options. And really, if you're not a developer, you don't know anything about the web, and you want to build a beautiful site, then really Wix or Squarespace could do the trick for you. If you want a more flexible platform and something that was going to give you more customization, more options, and more control, really. And if you know any HTML or just want to play around with some HTML, anything with a WordPress structure is going to give you more longevity, better support, probably long term, because it's literally like 65% of the entire internet now. And then Elementor has been growing. They're doing real well. You really can't go wrong. On the bright side, if you do use regular WordPress and I don't know if ever you decide you don't want to use Elementor, all your content is still there. You can just close down your Elementor, rebuild it using a different theme of your choice, and you're ready to roll. Like, you don't lose anything. Whereas with Wix, if you decide later that you hate the template you picked, say you picked this business template and then you decide later you really hate this one for whatever reason, you want something else, you're really almost like building a whole new site from scratch all the way over again. That's what I had for you today. Hopefully you got a lot out of this video, and in any case, thank you for listening and seeing my walkthrough of these three different platforms. And if you have not already, please like the video and subscribe, hit the bell so you'll see my notifications when a new video launches. And thank you very much. This is Eric at Learn Design with Eric.